Hello, my name is Steve Waldron, and I'm the GIS coordinator and instructor here at the City of Richmond, Virginia. Oftentimes, there are questions about how people are organized and how they might fit into the GIS program. The purpose of this video is to orient city employees to the city's GIS program. For starters, GIS stands for Geographic Information System. What is a GIS used for in the city? Well, much of the work we do is associated with geographic location. Different departments are managing geographic data in the city's GIS, and all of this information is spatially coincident and related by geography. In this slide, we could see a swatch of geographic space may contain layers for things like imagery, topographic elevation, land use, real estate parcels, utility information, and much, much more, including the mapping of data from business systems. So imagine the geographic space you see is the city of Richmond. GIS is a cross-cutting information science here in the city. We need to analyze many types of information across the city, and we are not limited to only utilizing our own department's geographic data. So GIS is used to improve our decision-making capabilities and to improve operational efficiencies and knowledge sharing. So really, GIS is not just about mapping. A map is just a product that can be produced from our GIS. ESRI is the world's leading GIS software company, and the City of Richmond is an ESRI shop, which just means that we use ESRI technology almost exclusively for the city's geospatial and analysis needs. The GIS professionals that the city hires are always educated with Esri software from their college experience. You can go to Esri's website on your own to learn much, much more about this GIS technology. So who are the GIS users? We have GIS professionals that have GIS in their job title, such as GIS specialists, GIS analysts, GIS project managers, etc. And we also have employees who are not GIS professionals, such as city planners or real estate appraisers or engineers or crime analysts, all as examples, who need to use GIS for the work they do. We can say that anyone who uses a GIS web application is also a GIS user. In this respect, the public is a GIS user. We have what we call a decentralized GIS. What this means is there's not a single GIS department, but DIT GIS supports the infrastructure and coordinates with everyone else. So in this slide, you can see a number of our top departments that have GIS uses, but it doesn't list all of them. Others would perhaps refer to a department you work in. People often ask, where does GIS data come from? The city has deployed GIS professionals throughout the organization in order to support the creation, maintenance, and use of GIS data. For example, the parcels are maintained by the assessor's office. Addresses are maintained by Planning and Development Review. And there are a number of GIS layers for which the Department of Information Technology will be the caretakers of. There are special projects performed by people that can result in new specialized GIS layers. So someone may have a special project they work on, and the output is something new. Data can be external. such as from the federal or state government, or data can come from ESRI, or data may come from other localities or other users. What is really powerful about a modern web GIS is that all of this data is easily shared via GIS web services. What are the GIS tools and which one is right for me? Well, we should say that the GIS software landscape is very diverse. Some people, you might be able to get away with just a web browser. Other people require desktop software. And yet others may only need GIS to work on their mobile device. In the old days, GIS software needed to be installed on computers. But in a modern GIS, the majority of our users will be GIS web application users or ArcGIS Online users, while the fewest number of power users will have ArcGIS Pro installed on their computer. In this slide, we can see ArcGIS Pro is associated with the desktop. Ultimately, we can say that in the city of Richmond, a user's requirements are what drive the appropriate solution for each user. So we will develop custom web apps for people. They just need a web browser. Others may have requirements that we steer them to use ArcGIS Online. Yet again, they just need a web browser. ArcGIS Pro is a desktop, and there are tools we can use for people who are in the field. The custom web app. You may be a consumer of this if you just need to look at geographic information to help make decisions. You may not have any high-end cartography needs. You can define a limited number of layers or functions that you need. And as such, we can just whip up a web application for you to use, a very simple to use interface. Moving on to ArcGIS Online, you might be a consumer for this if you need to create your own interactive web maps for your customers, or you need to collaborate with the other GIS users in your department or the city, or you need to pick and choose GIS layers interactively, or create your own layers, or share layers with coworkers, or you have a limited need to perform spatial analysis, and you are not required to be a high-end cartographer. So ArcGIS Online, this is GIS that's in the cloud, and it doesn't require anything other than a web browser to use it. We have ArcGIS Online orientation materials and can assign online web courses for our customers to get up to speed with this solution. ArcGIS Pro. ArcGIS Pro is the heavy-duty tool of the GIS professional and advanced users. It is a desktop software, so we're going to have to install software on a user's PC so they can use Pro. It is also the tool for people who are high-end cartographers. We have Pro orientation materials and can assign online web courses for Pro, as well as we mentioned we can do for ArcGIS Online. There's another product we haven't mentioned yet called ArcGIS Enterprise. Because ArcGIS Online, mentioned previously, is hosted in the cloud, this means it is actually hosted by Amazon Web Services and is managed by ESRI. It is robust, it scales on demand, and it lessens the technical debt taken on by the city. Whereas ArcGIS Enterprise, you can think of as the cloud, but it's on premises within the city's data center. So if ArcGIS Online is web GIS in the cloud, then ArcGIS Enterprise is Web GIS on premises. It's very important to mention the City of Richmond, in the city, we are an ArcGIS Online first organization, which means you need to try to use ArcGIS Online to meet your GIS needs. It's only after it's determined that a customer's requirement is not met by ArcGIS Online that we will work with the customer to use ArcGIS Enterprise. Richmond uses ArcGIS Enterprise for GIS web services and applications and for meeting special conditions. Here's a table that attempts to summarize the most common use cases for GIS products in the city of Richmond. Here at the top, you can see we have a column for GIS web app. This is the simplest for end users. We can create something that's simple to use if a user just needs to view and look and research information. ArcGIS Online has more use cases, but essentially it's for people who want to create interactive web maps for the public or for their customers. ArcGIS Pro, this is for the cartographers, the people that have to make very high quality maps, hard copy maps, or they need to perform heavy duty spatial analysis. And ArcGIS Enterprise is for those cases where ArcGIS Online doesn't foot the bill. And finally, what's next? If you think you need GIS for your job, then help us evaluate what you need by completing our GIS survey. The link is provided here. Once you complete the survey, then the DIT GIS team will automatically be alerted that a survey has been submitted. New GIS customers will always be interviewed after the survey is submitted. You can also email us at dit-richmond@richmondgov.com with any questions you have. If you do end up becoming a GIS user, then we will guide you through our additional online orientation and training materials.